Welcome to the Hard to Kill podcast, the go-to podcast for military, LEO, and EMS professionals, sharing ideas and experiences from around the world to make you hard to kill. Here's your host, Dave Morrow.
Welcome, ladies and gents. We are here with Charlie Bales on the Hard to Kill podcast. Charlie, welcome to the podcast, man. It's really cool to start to actually feel like people actually want to be on this podcast. So I guess I'm doing something right. And this materialized out of an email, which I typically don't answer, but it caught my eye because I was talking with one of my coaches about collagen, and it's like the internet somehow put the worlds together. I got the email, it's about collagen supplements. I was like, I think I have to have this guy on the podcast. And it's awesome to have you here, Charlie. So you're a husband, dad, entrepreneur, health enthusiast, and a supplement creator. So why don't you let the people know what you're all about and what you're up to these days, man?
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate you having me on the show. It's a thrill. So, I mean, a little bit about me. You just said it. I'm a husband. I got 3 little kids, so my house is super busy and loud. But you know, it's also kind of fun. But it's also terrifying because you have to take care of all these kids and make sure they don't fall down the stairs and all the fun things that parents do, especially during a pandemic. That just makes it so much easier.
It's the best. It's the best.
But thank God I live in Florida. That's all we'll say about the pandemic now.
America, love it.
Right. But yeah, man, we've got this collagen business. We sell multi-collagen protein powder, and it actually started because I am a dad. I'm sure we'll get into the story of why, but I love educating people on this food group that I think is just missing in our diets. We think that collagen is just it shouldn't even be called protein because it's just such a different product and has the ability to help in so many different ways. So can't wait to talk about it with you. And I really appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, buddy. Okay. So there's a lot of things here, man. Like I've just been going through your blog post, and just before we hopped on and started recording, there's a lot of commonalities here. First thing that comes out is dork. Dorking out is that's if you could see my office right now, like I've got Marvel cards stacked up over here. I've got comic books here. I've got Star Trek cards over there. I'm just like, when I was a kid, I didn't have a lot of luck with the ladies. Let's just put it that way. So I spent a lot of time with my cards and my comic books and my bros. We played Dungeons and Dragons. And now I feel like I'm entering my 40s. I can finally fully express my full dorkiness. What is it about you that makes you a dork these days?
Yeah, I am a self-proclaimed dork. I actually got asked that the other day. They're like, describe yourself in one word. And the word that immediately came to mind is dork. Like, I'm a dork. Like, I intentionally try to embarrass my children and have no problem with it. Like, I have no idea what the hip show that everybody watches on Netflix is, because I'm usually listening to a podcast or reading like Dr. Kate Shanahan's new book, or like just something nerd out. Like, I took organic chemistry in college as an elective. I'm just a nerd. And like, to your point, like I'm 34 years old now with 3 kids. I don't really care about being a nerd anymore. I actually embrace it and I love it. So, I mean, I think that's probably the most nerdy thing about me is that when I'm at CrossFit in the morning and everybody's talking about the new show or this Netflix series, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I legit have no clue. So I guess that makes me a dork. But you know what? I'm a loud and proud dork.
Nice. How many kids? Oh, sorry. I know that you have 3 kids. Wow. What are their ages?
So they're 7.5, 5.5, and 1.5. So yeah, our house is very loud.
Yeah, there's a lot of like monkey howling and screaming, I guess, going on in there.
Exactly. But
yeah,
hey, it's fun. I have a really good wife. I definitely married out of my league. Hopefully Leanne will listen to this and hear that. And I'll get some points.
Just
right?
Pure points. That's the check in the box. I'll do mine too, honey. Man, if it wasn't for you right now, there's no way I'd be able to do these podcasts with a guy like Charlie right now, because you give me the time and you'll take care of the house. Thanks, babe. There we go. Okay, good. We're good.
Boom, done.
Done. So your wife. Okay, cool. So She holds fort, clearly embraces the dorkiness. How'd you guys meet?
Oh, that's a fun story. We could do a whole episode on it, but I'll just give you the short version.
Okay, cool.
So I'm in Florida. I'm a University of Florida fan. She's from Georgia, University of Georgia. And in the South, in the United States, there's really no such thing as professional football, even though the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just won the Super Bowl. But really in the South, it's college football that is the main religion.
Go Gators.
And the Gators and the Bulldogs do not like each other. It's funny. I'll tell people all the time. My most hated rival of the University of Florida is Georgia, not Florida State or Tennessee or Auburn or any of those schools. It's Georgia. And I married a chick that went to Georgia. So, we were at the Florida-Georgia game, and I saw her walk up to the tailgate, and I'm pretty sure I was telling my sister at the time, like, I don't think I'm going to get married anytime soon. I just need to work. I need to do this. In walks Leanne, and oops, 4 days later, we're pretty much talking about our lives together. So how times can change.
Yeah. The universe was like, oh yeah, buddy, we'll see about that. Poof.
Bam.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, man. If I can find it, I will post it on social media. But my favorite hat when I was a kid was my Florida Gators hat. And for whatever reason, I love the Florida Gators. It was them and Notre Dame because my dad's a Notre Dame fan. So for whatever reason, I remember I was a chubby kid too. So if I can find it, it'll be perfect. I'll tag you in it next time if I find it.
Nice.
So you met at a tailgate. I've never been to a tailgate, man. As cool as Canadian football is here, we don't really do tailgating. Big Alouettes fan, but unfortunately, I've never made it down to the States for a game, but I hear it's just an epic experience. So how did you get into the entrepreneur space? Like, were you already an entrepreneur at that time in your life? Were you kind of just like hustling and then like all of a sudden, okay, boom, get married? Or did it kind of happen like, as you move into like dadhood, like husbandhood, like what was the journey on that front?
Yeah, it definitely happened when I started having kids and I started having like real responsibility, we'll call it. The second you have a child and you're like, what do I do? and you have to look after somebody else's life. You have a choice in that moment. And, our choice, my wife and I, was to try to be the best parents we could. We wanted to give Vivian, our firstborn, she's our only daughter, and then the other two are boys. We wanted to give her everything. And, she was totally fine, like normal delivery, normal everything. We just noticed she got sick a lot. And by the time she was 2 years old, she'd been sick 10 or 15 times. We'd been to the emergency room a couple of times. And, I never wish on anybody to have to drive to the emergency room with your 2-year-old daughter coughing so hard that you don't even know if she's breathing anymore because of a respiratory attack. Really after that, and after doing everything that the doctors said, take these drugs, try this, take this steroid, and it's just not working whatsoever. It actually made her worse and made her behavior just awful. Our house was not a happy house. I did what any parent would do, and you turn to Dr. Google. And I started listening to podcasts. I traveled a lot for work, not overnight, so I was in my car all the time. So, I could absorb 10 podcasts in a day. And I just started doing that. And after about a year, I'd probably listen to 1,000 podcasts. I probably listened to 50 or 60 books, like the ones of Dr. Kay Shanahan or William Davis or even, Sean Baker. I just listen to their books and hear about diet, nutrition, and the correlation to health. And I started reading research papers in the New England Journal of Medicine and all that stuff. And it just finally dawned on me that like, maybe what we put in our mouths is actually pretty darn important. And we started making those changes. And that's where the entrepreneurship happened, because I was getting my MBA at the time as well. So I was in that, conductive environment that harbors the thinking that, oh, I see this problem, I can fix it. It's just kind of that overly optimistic, genuine feeling of like, I'm going to start this business. So I did, and we started selling collagen in 2017. We're in year 4 right now. And it's been a ride, man. And I'm sure we'll get into more of the specifics of how that longer process happened and how we got our product and everything. But there's for the sake of your listeners to be like, man, this guy could talk. That's a short answer.
Oh yeah, no kidding, man. I'm actually really curious about, like your daughter had a respiratory issue. So at what point did you get that kind of bug in your ear? Like, wait, this could be related to a lack of collagen, which I'm assuming there was something there. Like that was the issue, and that's what got you to create the supplement.
Yeah. So they diagnosed her with asthma when she was like 18 months. And I'm just thinking,
Mm,
like, how in the world do you diagnose an 18-month-old with something as crazy as asthma when she doesn't even have developed lungs or anything?
mm-hmm,
So that got me questioning first off. And then you just start looking up, like, I don't even know we all know what asthma is, but like, we don't know what asthma is. So, you get into the trenches of the scientific literature to actually understand it. And then you go read, this doctor's book about, ancestral health. And then you go read this doctor's book about how gluten has inflammatory markers that could actually make things worse for an asthmatic. And then you go listen to 5 podcasts that this doctor talks about vegetable oils and how that has an impact on diet. And then I'm my own guinea pig myself. So I just started doing all this stuff to me. And not to say I wasn't bad health, but because I really wasn't, but I wasn't in perfect shining health. But some of my health problems, I was lactose intolerant. I tore my body in half in college playing sports. All this stuff just started healing. I 3 days later of consuming, a crap load of bone broth and cutting out a bunch of bad foods from my diet, I'm no longer lactose intolerant. And now, as a 34-year-old, I'd say 40% of my diet is coming from dairy. Like, that's just crazy. So it just, things started happening. You start questioning. You confirm this through reading this doctor's book, who clearly she knows what she's talking about, or he knows what he's talking about. And that just started the process of like, okay, if this is working for me, I'll bet you it'll work for the 3-year-old little girl that I
mm-hmm.
can't stand, is just continually sick. And, one of those major pillars was collagen. I mean, you just heard me mention gluten, vegetable oil, sugar. There's a lot of pillars. I'd say there's 4 or 5 very important ones, and collagen is one of those. And that's the one that I ended up being most passionate about. So the business went that direction, because I believe that as an entrepreneur, if you're going to start a business, you better be really passionate about the product you're selling.
Yeah, yeah, precisely. Okay, that's a pretty interesting journey. Like the first time I got the bug in my ear about collagen and the importance of it, and basically the lack of collagen that's in our current diets right now was Kelly Starrett. So I don't know if you're
K-Star.
familiar with K-Star. Yeah, episode 14 of the podcast, no big deal. So he was talking about, like, are you getting enough collagen? And like on a podcast, like, are you getting enough collagen? And it wasn't something we explored deeply, but it's something that stuck with me. I'm like, am I getting enough collagen? I'm like, I know what collagen is, and I basically know where to get it from, but I'm like, yeah, am I consuming it? And that was 2 years ago. So, because we're not eating basically, from, what's it called, like ass to snout or whatever the terminology is from the animals anymore. It's basically we're just eating the muscle, right? We're
Yep.
eating muscle tissue. We're like, okay, I'm getting my protein, I'm good to go. But, we don't eat snouts. We don't like eat marrow. We don't, eat anything but the actual muscle itself. So we're missing some critical nutrients there. So that was about 2 years ago. So, my wife does the majority of the cooking at home. I'm pretty lucky with that. And she makes a badass bone broth. So although I haven't seen the same like dramatic change that you had, like you said, like, you just had like a reversal of like, especially like injuries and stuff like that. I did notice, like I have, back and knee injury that prevented me from serving still in the military, coupled with the actual training I was doing. My knees were the first thing that I was like, I'm like, they feel better. And I started just researching a little bit more about like nutrition and the effects that nutrition has on your body. Cause I was popping pills, man. Like, like I was doing like Advils, and like the army had given me just freaking opioids really to like take care of my pain. I'm like, is this what I have to do the rest of my life? Isn't this how you turn into an addict? Percocets and all that. I'm like, fuck, I'm like, that can't be right. So yeah, reading just, guys like Kelly Starrett, Dr. Fung, that have him up here, his book here, The Obesity Code. Like, yeah, exactly. I read Wheat Belly. Like, it was just a journey, right? And as you progress through that journey, you're like an N of 1 experiment, right? You just start, well, I mean, not consuming sugar can't be bad for me. not consuming vegetable oils can't be bad for me. Like, so you just start knocking one at a time. And the lactose thing too was a big thing for me too. So there's a lot of commonalities there. And just the level of inflammation has gone down substantially for me. And I noticed in my face, like if I just look at a picture from like when I got engaged, I was a fat fuck. Like I was all puffy. Like I was like, what's going on, man? Like that was, I think 6 years ago. So, I was like in my early 30s and I was like, what? That doesn't look right. Like I started to look old. And since then I've had a big reversal. So let's chat then about the collagen, because you sent me some, which folks, if you're watching this on YouTube's later, okay, we got CB supplements right here, collagen. This is the neutral one, unflavored, but it comes in berry, which is the shit. Vanilla, chocolate, and is that it? Berry, chocolate, vanilla. Okay,
that's it. Yeah.
Huge fan of the berry. Been having it every day for the last 2 weeks since I got this. So why don't you get into the background as to like the importance of collagen and a little bit of the science too? That'd be huge.
Yeah, we could definitely nerd out a little bit about just kind of what our beliefs are, because I do have to be careful with what I say a little bit, because I'm not a registered dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm just a dude. I'm just a dad who's trying to do the right thing for his kids, but I'm also the guy who has a doctor on his team that can say a lot of the things that I'm going to say, because she's written about them in scientific literature. She has 2 best-selling books. And she's a primary care physician. Her name is Kate Shanahan. I talked about her.
There we go. I was just going to ask you, which doctor are we talking about here?
Yeah,
none other than Kate Shanahan. Nice.
We have Kate Shanahan is on our team. That's a story in and of itself. Like, how in the world did we get the author and the doctor of the book that I'll say changed my life on our team? Different episode for another day. She's pretty awesome though. So anyway, it's our opinion, I'll say, that collagen protein, it just triggers a different response to the body. So most of the registered dietitian and nutrition community think that protein is protein. And I'm not going to argue against them. I'm just going to tell you, here's what they think, here's what we think, make up your own damn mind. So they would say that protein just breaks down to amino acids, and then your body takes what it wants to go make what it needs. It's that simple. Where we're going to take it a step further. When you're eating muscle meat, which is 97% not collagen, really, when you eat a ribeye steak, it's only like 3% collagen. And all the other stuff is just muscle meat protein. That doesn't really have a specific peptide chain to it, which a peptide chain is amino acids that are branched together. So, you take certain of the 19, 20 amino acids and you put them together, that's a peptide chain. Muscle meat is different. When your body eats that, it sees that and it goes, oh, okay, this is muscle meat. We're just going to use this protein as the building blocks. We're going to go repair and restore muscle tissue. We're going to go build muscle. There you go. When you eat collagen, your body sees that this peptide chain of glycine and leucine and hydroxyl proline, hydroxyl lysine, which cannot be found anywhere else in nature. There's no such thing as, vegan sludge collagen. There's no such thing. Collagen comes from an animal. It comes from us. It comes from a tendon and a ligament. It comes from bone. So when you're eating something that has that peptide chain to it, your body goes, whoa, this is different. And it tells the body, go fix and repair connective tissue. That's probably why your knees started feeling better when you started supplementing with it. It's probably why my, leaky gut syndrome, which is a bad word that you're apparently not really allowed to say anymore because the medical community will say it's not a real thing. Okay. I have personal experience otherwise, but I digress. So your stomach lining, what do you think it's made of? It's made of collagen. There's these little, think of like you're looking at the bottom of a coral reef and all those things that are coming off the reefs. If you're watching YouTube, it's the stuff that's like doing this. Those are called villi or villi, however you want to pronounce it. They're made of collagen. So your body, that's connective tissue. So when you eat collagen, your body goes, ooh, let's go fix and repair connective tissue. Well, if your gut's made of connective tissue and it's broken, your body's smart enough that it's probably going to repair it. That's our thinking. That's where we stand. That, your body, you eat meat, go fix muscle. You eat collagen, go fix connective tissue. And that's why our product works. At least we're that's of our opinion. Which actually there's a ton of evidence to support this, but we won't get too nerdy. Hopefully we didn't lose people when I start saying, a branch or peptide chains and all this fun stuff, and hydroxylproline, which is,
now we've got a very
an amazing compound.
Very well educated audience. Top
Nice.
notch, actually. Top notch. Can we get into the different types of collagen?
Yeah. So
let's go down another layer.
Yeah. So most products that people are buying are made of bovine, which is cow skin, and that's it. So we're extracting collagen from cow skin, which is not bad. Like we use bovine in our formula as well, but we're also using beef stock and fish skin and bones and chicken bone broth and eggshell membranes, which all provide a different type to the body. They all provide different awesome things. So think of it this way. Do you eat just bags and bags of broccoli all day, every day, and stay away from carrots and zucchini and squash? Or do you eat all vegetables? And I would think that the logical person would say, yeah, we want to eat all the colors, all the vegetables, give it to me. Well, it's the same thing with collagen. That's why we developed a multi-sourced collagen. Hell, if we could make collagen out of dinosaurs and reindeer, I would, because they probably give us a different type or something different. Where bovine is going to give you type 1 and type 3, chicken collagen is going to give you type 2. Guess what your joints are made of? Type 2. Guess what your skin's made of? Type 1. So we need them all. And our product gives you that because we're using all these different sources, where if you just look at the back of labels of collagen, it's funny, all the stuff on the back is what's hidden from you. It just says collagen on the front, and on the back is going to say, oh, source is bovine. Well, that's just cow skin. So I would be willing to bet that a supplement that uses chicken bone broth as an ingredient would probably be better for your joints, and eggshell membranes as an ingredient be better for your joints than just cow skin. That's not to say, because we're just the company. I just want people to take collagen. Just take it. If you love what you're taking, I'm not trying to sell you ours. We're just trying to make the world, that's our mission. Just make the world a healthier place, and to get people informed as to what you're actually buying, what you're putting in your body, what's the sourcing of it, what are the different types. Well, there's the short answer.
Okay, solid. So, let's take a hypothetical person that literally eats everything. They have oxtail, and they consume bone broth, and they're eating skin and tendon and sinew and stuff like that. They typically wouldn't need to supplement with any collagen, correct? They theoretically have what they need in order to get by. And that would kind of simulate our ancestral diet, I guess. Is that kind of what we're getting at?
Yeah, we're the supplement company. We only sell one line of products, which is a multi-collagen protein powder. And we're the supplement company that's going to tell you, don't buy our supplement.
I love that. I love that in your marketing, man. I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy it. He tells it he doesn't want me to buy it. I'm buying it.
And we don't do it to, reverse engineer sales or anything, whatever I'm trying to say. We do it because we're just being honest. I would much rather somebody drink 16 ounces of bone broth and eat oxtail every day. I don't think you're going to need our product. I've had the conversation with Sean Baker, the main carnivore himself, and just flat out told him, there's no reason why you should take our product. I don't think it's going to do anything. I think your diet is already great. You just don't need it. What company who's for profit that's trying to sell a product says that? We do, because our philosophy is that food is the ultimate healer and the ultimate medicine. Because I'm not going to lie to you and say that collagen healed my daughter's health journey, which she's a super healthy 7.5-year-old now, just a side note. What really healed her was all of the changes we made to diet. Yes, collagen played a part, but it's not the silver bullet. And we're very passionate about that stance, that we're just trying to help people start that journey, get inspired, and invest in yourself. And it starts with food. So yeah, if you don't want to drink bone broth and eat organ meats and oxtail and all that every day, that's why we created a product. Because as good as my diet is, hell, I'm the guy who started the company. To drink 10 ounces of bone broth every day is difficult.
Mhm.
So it's a lot easier to throw a scoop of our unflavored collagen into 2 cups of coffee throughout the day, and bam, I've got 12 grams of protein,
Right.
specifically collagen. So like that's why we have a company, but we're going to suggest to people work on your diet first. I mean, I have people all the time tell me, yeah, I don't really want to change the way I eat, but can I just supplement with your product? Will it do anything? I just flat out tell them, no, not really. I mean, it's just I just don't waste your money. Like stop buying the French fries and the Coke and change that, and then call me.
Right. Yeah. It's looking at the like the multivariable approach, right, to health. Like it's that you get into that's one track mind thinking where you think if I just eliminate sugar from my diet, I'm going to be healthy now. Well, you're going to be healthier, but there's substantially more work that needs to get done, and it never ends. Like it's an ever going, it's an ever green, I guess, process where you fix one thing, but then there's a whole bunch of other things that you need. And then as you age, things change as well. Your hormonal profile changes. Like, yeah, it's easy for people to fall into that trap where it's like, okay, cool, I got your collagen set. I'm good, man. I'm doing that every day. My knees feel awesome, but how come I'm not losing weight? It's like, like how come I'm not sleeping well? Like these are all the things that that typically come up, especially when you're like, I train people, right? So, trying to figure out the human body and like why things are not going the way they want to go. Specifically, like if it's weight loss, it's not just one factor. There's so many factors. There's obviously the big moving parts that, okay, like if you're not sleeping or you're eating like dog shit. Yeah. Okay. Well, we can fix those. But there's also like the little ones, like collagen, for instance, like that is something that's probably not on a lot of people's radar. However, I do see it more and more though, maybe because it's confirmation bias, because I'm probably picking it out because I notice it when I go to the store now. Because a few years ago, I would never have noticed that. So is that something that you notice in the industry, that there's more awareness now of this collagen or this lack of collagen in our diets, that so people are coming out with a few more supplements?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and I think that we can thank the female consumer for getting this started, because really
Yeah.
the main benefit for collagen is it gives you stronger hair. That's one of the that's one of the
Okay.
huge feedbacks we get. That
Okay.
and that people just tell us that, man, ever since I started taking your supplement, I just feel better, and I didn't think that anything was happening, so I stopped taking it, and then I felt like crap, so I started retaking it again.
Mm,
But the most people that are buying our supplement, one, are female, and they're buying it to strengthen their hair, and it actually works. But then they start noticing, oh, my digestion has gotten better too, and my knees
yeah.
don't hurt, and I'm sleeping better at night, and I'm recovering better, and I am losing weight because I'm just not as hungry anymore. But after I have my coffee and collagen in the morning, and then the domino effect starts happening, and then they buy more, and then all these different companies come out with a product, because actually we're using a byproduct of the meat industry. Most people will kill the chicken and the cow and then just take the meat, throw everything else away. Like
Mhm.
we're taking all of the leftovers, we'll call it, and we're making a product with it. And it's funny, we tend to throw away the best part. People throwing away the egg yolks and eating only egg whites. We throw away the cow bones and only eat the muscle. Like, no, 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 no. We've got it all wrong. We actually, the bones is the most nutritious piece. And if they're bones
Mhm.
that have tendons and ligaments and all that great stuff on them, cartilage, like you can make the most unbelievable stock. So that's what we're doing. We're making stocks. We're taking the products, we're grinding it down, throwing it into a powder, and it's available for purchase. And you can put it in your coffee. And like,
Mhm.
is it going to be this, perfectly unflavored product? No, we're using fish skin and eggshell membranes. Like we're making it as unflavored as we can without destroying the integrity of the product. But that's we'll get that feedback every now and then, like, hey, I think your product has a slight smell. Well, yeah. Do you want us to process it to the point where there's zero nutritional value and it's just white powder? Because we can do that, but I think that would go against everything that we're trying to do. And there are companies that do that, and they're selling a product that does not work. That's why I put our product up against so many different collagens and say, take them all and see which one actually works. And I think you're going to see that our product with with the ingredients that we use, it's just a superior product, period. And I love I just love that we get this opportunity to talk about it, because to your point, a couple of years ago, people were like, collagen, isn't that just like for hair and lips? It's so much more than that. We're a product of the meat industry, that we consume all the muscle meat, and then what do you do with the rest of the animal? Well, we're going to take that product. Well, we'll gladly take it, because that's like where all the nutrition is. Not saying that muscle meat isn't, it's fantastic, but let's eat the whole animal, and we turn that into our product. That's why we use bone broths, and cow skin is great, but we think that it should be more than just that. So we're going to use the fish skin too. And we use the fish bones and the eggshell membranes. And I love getting that question from people. They're like, where does collagen come from an egg? I'm like, when you crack the egg and you just take all the good stuff, and then you throw the eggshell away and all that thick, really gelatinous, weird, clear stuff on the eggshell, that's what it is. And I had somebody tell me, they're like, oh, should I eat the eggshell? I'm like, maybe.
Bear Grylls does it. He's like a great source of calcium. He's the whole thing. Like, ooh, that's a bit too much. But you know what? On the egg, like when you hard boil them, right? When you crack them, if they don't peel well, that's what's stuck. That membrane is really stuck on the egg there. So that's what annoys me when I'm peeling eggs. But it's definitely healthy for you. So it's good when it sticks on from time to time.
Absolutely. But I don't know if I tell somebody to eat the eggshell. Maybe just, if you're that hardcore, awesome, maybe just try our product and save your mouth.
Looking like that freak at lunchtime in the staff room, like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you eating? Oh my God, you're eating the shell? Yeah, man, got to get my collagen. So you mentioned having collagen with your coffee. What's a good way to consume it? Like, is there a time of day that's best? Is it best taken with like a heavy meal or fasted? What's your recommendation on that?
It's such a great question that I just don't know if there's a proper answer. We've written about this on our website because that's something that we care deeply about, is just providing education to our consumers, whether you buy our product or not. That's one of our pillars of excellence for our company, that we're going to give great education and content, and we're going to tackle these issues. So we get the question a lot is, hey, I practice intermittent fasting. Can I put your collagen in my coffee and not break my fast? And it's a great question. And if you Google it, you're going to get 16 different answers from really educated people. Ted Naiman, Jason Fung, a lot of people have their opinions of it. So we have like a 4,000 word article addressing that on our website, where our answer is, we don't really know. I've worn a continuous glucose monitor 4 times and drank coffee and collagen to see if it spikes my blood sugar, and it doesn't. But somebody else, it might. So, just to address your question of when's the best time to take it, and I've asked Dr. Kate this, and she's weighed in on it. It's really just whenever. It's because we believe that it's a different protein than normal, and your body goes into a different processing of it. Remember, collagen tells your body, go fix and repair and make connective tissue. It doesn't really matter when you take it. And if you follow the Ted Naiman school of thought, that protein is not fuel, it's a building block. Fat and carbs are what he calls the energy. It's not going to break your fast. That's what we believe. And that's what I do most mornings. I'm working out fasted, but I've had a cup of coffee with collagen in it. And maybe my elbows don't hurt as bad when I get underneath that heavy clean, which has happened. And I'm like, this is kind of cool. But I drink the strawberry lemonade while I work out, because I'm like you, I think it's the best flavor we have. Our CFO Kyle disagrees. He's a vanilla guy, but we don't even like Kyle. So,
you know what, Kyle? I don't know. I don't know about that guy, man.
He's a numbers guy. Should we even trust him anyway? Who knows? But
doesn't it make sense that he likes vanilla then? If he's a numbers guy, like he's not going to be a chocolate guy. He's not going to be a berry guy.
He's not a chocolate guy at all. But the chocolate with milk at night as dessert, oh my gosh. Or you mix the chocolate with like heavy whipping cream, throw it in a blender, and you've just made mousse. So we've got tons of recipes on our website, and I would tell somebody, like, I think it's more important for you to have muscle meat, or if I don't take whey protein, but a lot of people do, and just because I think if you eat enough meat, you don't need it. But anyway, I think that's more important to get right after your workout than anything else. But also, like, intermittent fasting, that it kind of blows that theory up that You go Google guy like Dominic D'Agostino who can not eat for 3 weeks and still go deadlift 600 pounds. Like, So,
Yeah.
so I mean, I think that I've probably done a horrible job answering your question, but it just goes to show that like we're not the company that says, oh, you need to do this, this, and this. Like, no, we don't know. We're human. I mean, just take if one scoop of collagen at any point during the day is better than 0.
Okay. Check. That's super easy to follow. Very very user based. Like I see that more and more as our knowledge of health starts to evolve here in the West anyways. There's a lot more emphasis on taking control of your own, right? And not abdicating everything to a doctor. Like I've said this before, and I got this. Did I get this analogy from Kelly Starrett? Probably. But essentially your doctor's like your lifeguard if you're at a beach. You go into the water and you start drowning. Who's going to come save you? It's going to be a lifeguard. They're going to pull you out and they're going to drag you to the shore. That's just like your doctor. Your doctor, if you're dying, they will save your life. That's what they do. But if you're planning on going back in the water, you don't go see the lifeguard. You go see a swim coach and you learn how to swim. And then when you go back in the water, you're fine. And that's, the analogy I use for, like what you're doing right now with collagen, what I do with, training individuals. Like you need a coach to kind of have you get to the point where you can figure out your own health, because having like a prescriptive one size fits all, we realize it's just not working. In your daughter's case, it wasn't working, in my case, taking pills and stuff, it's not healing, and you alluded to it earlier, like your body is able to heal. And I think that's been for me anyways, the biggest revelation is like, we're a healing factory. Like if we give ourselves the ability to go into like a healing state, so good food, good water, sleep, like good headspace. I'm not saying like you're going to, like, if you have a life-threatening illness, you probably won't fix it by, drinking collagen mousse or eating collagen mousse. And like, there's probably some serious shit that you have to take care of at a doctor. Like, again, I'm not saying like, go and just drink collagen shakes to cure your freaking, I don't know, like God knows what, let's say COVID. Okay. I'm not saying that, folks, but what I'm saying is that, looking at your health from a broader perspective and incorporating things that are like multifactorial really goes a long way, man. So you're in a really interesting space right now. And we need more like honest dudes, especially in the supplement and the fitness world, because it's pretty sketchy out there, man. So, and I think that's what turned off a lot of people so far in this industry, right? Is the sketch balls that are just out to make a quick buck, and who knows what's in their supplements and whatnot. So you got a cool team. I love the fact that you got Dr. Kate on board. We're definitely have to touch base on that. Now, I want to bring up a quick anecdote because it came up when you're talking about, like bones and the, oxtails. One of my good buddies is Jamaican. He grew up in Jamaica. And he was saying, he's like, yeah, man. He's like, and I even went to his mom's house. They're eating chicken feet. And I was like, you can't eat these. It's like, yeah. And they're just like, there's like very, very little meat, but it's all collagen. Like the nails are still on them, but I couldn't finish them because the spice that was on them made my head explode. And I got made fun of for being like the white boy that can't eat spice. But then like he was saying, like, he's like, yeah, we would just like take the chicken bones and like literally like gnaw on them until like the marrow started like coming out. And it's like, yeah, then you just suck out the marrow. I'm like, I'm like, I've never done that in my life, like, but that was like a knowledge that I guess we've lost, that you would just naturally instinctually do. Like, yeah, you have these bones, like chicken bones, whatever. And you just kind of like gnaw. Like I give a bone, like from a steak to my daughter, who's 1.5, and she instinctually just like starts like gnawing. And like, she's right down to like, I don't even eat down to the bone like that. And she's like sucking on the bone. Like, how does she know how to just do that? But she just does, so that I think that's something that's really interesting about our species anyways. Like we know certain things, but we just kind of learn ourselves out of it. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but essentially like, I think we're just missing something. We're missing some ancestral knowledge.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be normal for our great grandmothers to always have a huge pot of stock on the stove at all times.
Yeah.
Because we would all just, you kill the animal and then you eat the meat off of it. Well, what do you do with everything else? Grandma just takes it and builds a big thing of stock. And then you drink stock for 4 days and then you do it again. That now we expect the massive manufacturing giants I won't name any of the companies, but we expect that. I will name a company that's actually doing it right, Kettle and Fire. They are doing it right. If you want to buy bone broth, buy their stuff. The two brothers that started that, they are legit and are actually super cool dudes. But that just doesn't happen anymore, to your point that like, oh, you have a friend that's from another country and they eat the foot, where over here we're like, just give me filet mignon and cut all the fat off of it. It's like, they probably look at us and go, that's good? Like, you think that tastes good? Which, I think that's just a product of being the fourth or fifth or sixth generation in the Western society that we are, that we just think big business is going to fix all of our problems. And like, no, take control of your health and actually have some accountability and invest in yourself.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. It's cool to see that you're part of this change. One thing I did want to bring up that's really really important, I think, is what's the deal with Matthew McConaughey?
I just love that guy. I mean, is he not just outrageously attractive and like has a super cool like voice? And hopefully he'll listen to this and he'll be like, oh, all right, Charlie, and just give me a call and be like, hey, I think you're pretty cool too.
You know what? We're going to definitely tag him, like on Twitter. This is going to happen. And if anybody out there is listening right now, he's been doing a ton of podcasts for his new book. So you know what? If we want to do a three-way on that, man, I'm totally down. McConaughey, wow, that's a big fish. And I noticed too, that was kind of like I just noticed that on your blog. I had to bring that up. I'm a huge fan of McConaughey too. Like, dude is like, he's something else, man. And like, if I was going to hang out with a Hollywood star, there'd be him and Will Ferrell. Those are the two. Like, if I could hang out, those are the two. So Will Ferrell, if you're listening too, bro, hit me up.
Except Will Ferrell must be in Anchorman everything.
Yeah, he has to be in full character the entire time.
Yes. He has to be Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, or like, what's the point, really? Like, at the end of the day, yeah, I want Anchorman. It's kind of a big deal. And so lastly, I just wanted to touch base on your entrepreneur side. You're a fan of Vaynerchuk. I'm a fan of Vaynerchuk. What does your business have in store for the future? I'm now know that you're a Vaynerchuk fan. So is there something revolving around the Jets or, crushing it that you're going to take moving forward for CB supplements?
Yeah, I think that his crazy passion for the Jets, I have that for the University of Florida football team. I mean, obviously you can't buy a college football team like he could buy the Jets. I mean, I guess you could. Maybe they could like name the field after CB Supplements or something. We'll just give them a bunch of money.
The CB Supplements field? Yeah.
Exactly. home of the Florida Gators, right? But we actually, that's one of our target demographics is the professional athlete. And if you look at the can of our collagen that's in front of you, you'll see a certification. It says NSF certified for sport. It's that blue and orange logo right up front. So that certification means that our product has been independently tested by NSF. It's free of like 300 banned substances. It's been tested against all the heavy metals. They test the product ingredients are actually what's on the bottle or in the bottle. They verify everything. And that certification is extremely expensive and time consuming, that we've made that investment to get our product NSF certified for sport. So actually, if Gary Vee does buy the Jets, his players could take our product, because most professional sporting leagues will not allow their players to take products that have not been NSF certified for sport, which is a two-part process that is grueling and long and expensive, but it's part of our mission. We want to make the world a healthier place. Well, how are we going to do that? We're going to educate people. We're going to give awesome service, and we're going to sell our product to the best athletes in the world. And then kids are going to see what those athletes are taking. And then they're going to go say, hey, mom, go buy this for me. And boom, we've just entered the household, and we're fixing, generational health issues by attacking the younger population through the professional athletes. It's like the ultimate Trojan horse that,
Sick.
I just gave away our strategy, but whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Who cares?
Doesn't matter.
So if the Florida Gators are listening to this, like, they just need to buy the product, and we're getting the chocolate and vanilla NSF certified. So we'll have a broader what's the word? We'll just have more products for them to offer to their athletes. So there's the Gary V inspiration that he's I've read Crush It and Crushing It. They're both awesome, and I've listened to them too. They're even better on audio, I think.
Great.
But his passion for the Jets, that's Charlie's passion for the Florida Gators. And I married a girl who went to Georgia. What am I thinking?
I know. But you know what? The yin and the yang is important in life. You need the chaos and the order. If you don't, then
what's going to be funny is when the University of Georgia orders our product before the University of Florida, and I'm just going to have this huge internal struggle. Like, it's going to happen. I've already put it in the universe.
It's in the universe. Happen. They're going to say, like, Charlie, all of our players across all of our sports, we want you to be the exclusive provider, and we want you to go on with a University of Georgia jersey, hat, you name it, and just be our spokesperson. So you can just sign the contract here. You're set for life, and you'll be like, oh. Just the turmoil that's going to happen is just going to be epic, and then you'll have to make that call. You have to make that call, and please ask to be on the podcast when you make that call, because I want to experience that very human emotion that comes with not ever wanting to be a part of your diehard enemy when it comes to sports. Mine is the Toronto Maple Leafs in hockey. So if ever I get a chance, and like, Dave, we want you to be the trainer for the head trainer for the Maple Leafs, I'll be like, no, I'm sorry, I can't contribute to a potential Stanley Cup win. That would crush my soul, and I'll have to pass. I get it, man. I get it.
Yeah. I hopefully I'll have that opportunity to not sleep over what in the world would I do, because like also my wife's family, like, they're all hardcore Georgia, so it's like I kind of married into it that, like, oh, I have to like them a little bit, but also my dad went to Georgia Tech to even complicate things even more.
Oh wow, you got a complicated life there, Charlie.
Oh,
not gonna lie.
Gosh, right?
Not gonna lie. Charlie, can we set up a way for the listeners to get a discount on this bad boy here?
Yeah,
is that a possibility?
Absolutely. We'll create a coupon code that's just the title of your podcast, Hard to Kill, with the fancy spelling HRD, and then we'll do the number 2 and kill. So just exactly how you do it. That's easy.
Sweet.
I'll have it be like $6 off. Our product's $42 and change. So we'll take $6 off. We do ship in the States for free. Shipping is free. And we do ship to Canada. We get a Canadian order, I'll say, like, once a month. We don't pay for that shipping, though, so it does get pretty pricey. It could be like $50 after duty and everything. However, if somebody in Canada wants a product and they don't want to pay that, just email me, and we'll figure it out, because I'm not interested in taking your money and making a ton of profit. If you want the product, I want you to have it. So just shoot me an email. It's Charlie, my name, @cvsupplements.com. We can put that in the notes, I'm sure. And if there's a way to get you to buy a couple of bottles, and then we split the shipping with you, so we just break even, that's all we're going to do. So if you're in Canada, just reach out to me if you want the product.
Solid. Love it. Being available for your Canadian brothers and sisters. Love it. I have to say it is hard, though, sometimes when we have to, like, get out of the igloo and, like, make that transaction. There's only, like, one bank in our entire, like, community, and you gotta get on a Caribou, and it's a really complex process, but I'm glad I was able to get this, and I'm sure we'll be able to figure it out. So that's much appreciated, Charlie. That's great. So we'll put that all in the show notes. And about half of the people that listen to the podcast, I got to give a shout out to my American brothers and sisters that have been supporting the podcast since day one. So about half of the listenership is down from the States, and having served with the Americans overseas too. I love me some America, man. I can't wait for the time when I can actually leave my country and go down south again and enjoy some good old American hospitality. So, Charlie, it's been a hoot, man. This is a great episode. Seriously, like, I love the product. Definitely going to make sure that my clients and the people in my community, in the Article community, know about it and know about the discount code. So that's going to be going out very shortly once we set that up. And Charlie, do you have any last parting words? Do you have a place that we can like find you the easiest? Is it your blog? Is it Facebook? What's the best way for people to kind of find you and what's going on with CB Supplements?
Yeah. So CB Supplements is on all the socials, just at CB Supplements. I said my email earlier. You can just reach out to me there. I have my personal LinkedIn profile. Just look for my name, Charlie Bales. And then I'm pretty active on Twitter. It's just my initials, CE Bales. Just at CE Bales. That's me. And I'd love to hear from anybody. You know, I'm as you can probably tell through the episode, I just like helping and talking to really cool people who want to know the information. And if there's anything I can do to help, like I'm all for it. I really appreciate this opportunity to come on your podcast, Demo. That's a sweet nickname, by the way. And, you know, look forward to coming back on when I have to tell you, yeah, we got called by the University of Georgia.
It's a date. It's happening.
And we're going to do it live. Hopefully there'll be like 10,000 people listening and we'll be like, fans, what should I do? Hopefully that'll be the next episode.
I love it, man. I love it. I can't wait to be a part of that. It's going to be huge. So Charlie, man, again, thanks for coming on the show, man. Thanks for reaching out. That was awesome. And continued success with CB Supplements. I can't wait to have my shake after my run today. And for everybody that's listening out there, thanks for tuning in. We finally hit 10,000 downloads. So super pumped about that. So stay tuned for a bunch of good content that's coming your way, folks. And as always, train hard, fight easy. Peace, folks.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. You can find out more about training, nutrition, and mindset at davemorrow.net. Be sure to like us on Facebook and Instagram at Dave Morrow PT. And don't forget, strong people are hard to kill.